was under her bed beside the boxes. The ones we always knew were not to touch. I pulled it out on the afternoon of sorting and sat there on the floor for very much. The case had latches that still worked with something, a smell of rosin and of somewhere else. The violin inside was wrapped in purple velvet and resting with the patience of a shelf. The bridge was loose and two of the strings were missing, but someone had maintained the bow with care. The hair was good, the wood was clean and wanted, and there was music living in the air. She said 1953. Your mother played in competitions twice. She won the second one in a green dress, and then she married, and that was the price. I've heard my mother's music in the kitchen, the humming version, tuneless and contented. But now I hear the other underneath it, the concert version, carefully prevented. I play the violin on certain evenings, not well, but with a kind of dew. The latches still work, and the velvet is still purple, and I am playing something meant for two. Grandmother took salt and pepper shakers from every diner that she ever graced. She put them in her purse with great conviction and left the table with a certain pace. By 1972 she had 200 arranged by state along the kitchen shelf. The miniature saguaro from the Arizona one, the little chrome ones that did not suit themselves. She had a catalog in a spiral notebook with the name of each establishment and year. The Rosie's Diner 1958 cut glass ones, the truck stop pair from somewhere I hold dear. I asked her once if she considered this as stealing. She looked at me the way the great ones do. She said I leave a tip of 20% always, and 20% buys me a memento or two. She traveled 47 states by 81. The shelf required an extension by the sink. The catalog had reached its second volume, and she was working toward the final brink. She's gone now, and the Shakers are divided among the grandchildren by complicated will. I had the Arizona saguaro once, and every morning they are hers still.
The record store on Maple had a system that only regulars could navigate right. The owner sorted things by feeling mostly, and alphabetical only in bright light. He kept the good stuff in the back left corner, behind the jazz and just before the folk. If you knew to look, you'd find the real ones, and if you didn't know, you never woke. The first time I heard Mitchell in that corner, I stood there for a side and a half. The owner brought me coffee without asking, and didn't interrupt the paragraph. He had a cat called Inventory who sat on the register and judged your selections. She liked the serious buyers and the browsers, and was completely indifferent to collections. The fire was on a Thursday in November, electrical according to the write-up. The building went an inventory with it, and 40 years of somebody's setup. I have the records that I bought there still, the corners and the sleeves a bit worn down. Some shops are more than shops, and when they're gone, they take a piece of the particular town. The last bus out of Millfield left at 4:15. I had the window seat in everything I owned. The main street had its usual Thursday business, and I was the particular thing going home. My mother stood beside the hardware store, the yellow coat she'd worn since '73. She waved the way that mothers learn to wave at things that are not coming back to be. The bus went north on Maple, past the water tower, past the diner and the school and the mill. I held the seat in front and did not turn around until the water tower wasn't visible still. Beside me slept before the county line, the way the travelers who've done it before sleep. I watched the window become somewhere I didn't know, and felt the something that I'd chosen to keep. Millfield had a quality I've not located elsewhere, the particular way the evening sat on those streets. I've lived in better located and more useful places, but none of them had Millfield's specific beats. My mother wore the yellow coat until it gave out. Sometime in the middle of the '80s, I have a photograph of her beside the hardware store, still waving at the particular thing that leaves. My father had a tackle box he kept beside the stairs. He cleaned it every Sunday after church. The hooks were sorted carefully by function, the lures arranged with a particular search. We never went out fishing, not exactly. The boat he talked about stayed in the talking. He'd open up the box and close it after, and that was Sunday, and that was his walking. I asked him once what lake he had in mind. He named one north of town with some precision. He said perhaps in spring, and spring would come and spring would pass with the same soft revision. understand it now at 50-something. The tackle box was not about the fish. It was the hour of the Sunday cleaning, when no one needed anything from his. The lures were bright and purposeless and organized, a world of small and manageable things, where nothing was demanded or unanswered, and the only pending item had no strings. He left the tackle box to me on purpose. The note said simply, use it as you see. I cleaned it on a Sunday after burying him, and sat a while with what it meant to be.
Because the cold was entirely worth the noise. We had no schedule past the general direction of coffee and the dock in afternoon, and sometimes someone drove to get provisions, which mostly just meant pie and something hewn. That was the summer that everything was simple, before the jobs and cities got their claim. We've each had summer since with better logistics, but none of them have had that particular name. The cottage is still there. I looked it up on Thursday. They've painted it a different shade of green, and the floorboards probably still say what they mean. I lived 3 blocks from the ocean for 11 years, and went approximately never, give or take. There was always something happening on Tuesdays, and the other days had something else at stake. The neighbors went on Saturdays with thermoses. I'd watch them from the window heading south. I think that I would go perhaps next Saturday, and Saturday would go the same route. I knew the ocean was there without the visiting, the way you know a thing without the proof. The salt would come in on the summer evenings and season everything beneath my roof. Daughter asked me once why I had never gone. I gave a thorough and unsatisfying reply. She was 9 and had a better understanding of the ratio of intention to goodbye. I moved away the autumn of '79 to somewhere several hundred miles from shore. The ocean sent me nothing for my trouble, the same amount it always sent before. I think about the water sometimes on Saturdays, the 3 blocks that I never got around. Some distances are small enough to keep forever as a reason and a comfort and a sound. She knitted me a scarf on the wrong size needles. She'd bought them at the drugstore on a guess. The gauge was what you'd call a personal decision, and the width was more of an approximate yes. It's 7 inches wide at one end, 9 at the other, with a section in the middle that goes thin. She said the pattern called for something different, but the pattern wasn't entirely akin. She wrapped it in the Sunday paper, folded and handed it with the confidence of skill. I put it on immediately and wore it through a February that required the will. I've had more even scarves in better colors from people who knew what they were about, but none of them have had the specific character of something held together by love and doubt. She knits correctly now, I see them on the internet. The stitches even purposeful, exact. But every December I go back to 7 and 9 and wear the scarf for what it has in fact. The scarf is 27 years old this winter, the thin part in the middle holding on. I've repaired it with the wrong wool on purpose to keep it as imperfect as begun. day that year, a notice on the door in someone's hand. I'd pressed my mittens flat against the glass and tried to understand the understand. I'd practiced what I meant to say for 11 days, in order and with backup in case. But the rink was dark and you were somewhere else that evening, and the words had no particular place. I stood there for a while before I left. The cold was doing something to my ears. A couple passed behind me laughing something, and I studied the announcement for years. Your house at a particular pace. The lights were on upstairs, which told me nothing except that you were somewhere in that space. I never said the thing I went to say that day. The rink reopened, but the moment didn't. Some words require a very specific setting, and February gave me what it wouldn't. You moved away that spring to somewhere northern, and I became someone who almost said the ice rink closed on Valentine's Day. Remember, but only inside my own head. We started at Margarets House at 18, with paper hats and something someone brought. We watched the new year come in from the window and told it what we wanted, and we thought the same faces and the same general plan. Who fell asleep before the thing began. The decades have a way of adding texture to a room that started fairly bare. But Margaret's house was always there to share. The year that Margaret's husband wasn't with us, we sat up slightly later than before. We didn't speak about the missing directly. We just stayed until there wasn't any more. We've watched each other's hair change colors slowly, and watched each other's children leave the room. We've handed each other the kind of years that only someone there from the beginning can consume. Every New Year's Eve at Margaret still happens. Fewer paper hats, but warmer in the way. The warmth of everything that chose to stay.
The mechanic underneath my car on Tuesday was singing something that I didn't place. I asked him what the song was when he surfaced, and he came out with Neruda on his face. He wiped his hands on the cloth he kept in the back pocket, and quoted me a line about the night. Something about the stars and someone leaving that had no business being that right. He learned it from his father in the Andes, who learned it from a teacher in the South. He said that poetry belonged in garages as much as it belonged in any mouth. I've been to readings in appropriate locations, with wine and lightning and the correct regard, but nothing had the weight of that Tuesday quotation from under a Buick in a gravel yard. He fixed the alternator and the fan belt, and sent me out with a receipt and Neruda. The total on the slip was very reasonable, and what he gave me had no denominator. I bought a book of Neruda on the Thursday, and read it at the table after 9, and thought about the man beneath the Buick who had it all completely memorized and fine.
November kept the windows painted shut that year. The super said he'd fix them in the spring. I stopped believing in the spring by Tuesday, and started working with the everything. The radiator had a sound, it made it 3. A conversation with itself resolved. I learned its vocabulary over evenings and considered myself partially involved. The street below went on without my window. The coats grew darker as October left. I watched from the particular angle of the painted shut and called it my preferred position of the bereft. Could have found a butter knife and opened it. The paint was not a structural concern, but the room had reached an agreement with the November that I was not prepared to counter or adjourn. By December, something shifted in the quality. The radiator found a different note. I put a lamp beside the painted window and called it adequate and wrote, the super fixed the window in the March. It opened with a sound of paint releasing. The air came in and was entirely cold, and that was also its own kind of easing.
The footbridge over Miller's Creek is still there. The county built the road around it in '79. The bridge became irrelevant on Tuesday, and irrelevant is where I spend my time. The wood is soft in places now from weather. The railing has a lean I wouldn't trust, but someone keeps the moss from the center boards with a maintenance that I admire for its trust. I cross it on Sundays when I'm able. No particular reason on the other side, just the bridge and the creek and the particular quality of crossing something nobody else has tried. There is a kind of beauty in the purposeless, the thing that keeps on being past its need. The footbridge is entirely decorative now, and decoration takes a different creed. I've told a few people about the footbridge, They nod the way that people nod at bridges. They haven't gone to see it, and they probably won't, and that protects it from the certain ridges. The bridge will go eventually to the weather. All boards go somewhere, nothing holds its grain. But Sunday mornings and the crossing traffic, and the crossing makes it a bridge again.
A dog before I could remember, a golden one who answered to the name of Rue. In every photograph before my 3rd birthday, he's somewhere in the frame, and so am I too. My mother says he followed me through every room and slept outside my door the first 3 winters. She says he had a way of knowing breakfast before the kettle and before the splinters. I've seen his face in 17 photographs, the gray around his muzzle by the 3rd. Looks at me the way that someone looks at something they have chosen every word. He died the April of my 4th year Tuesday, and I apparently cried for several days. My mother says I asked about him weekly through the entire summer of that phase. I have no memory of Rue or Tuesday, no image of the fur or of the door. Just 17 photographs and someone's story about a love that happened before my before. I think that is its own particular mystery, the love that lives entirely before the mind, that somewhere in my first 3 wordless winters, a golden dog was being very kind.
Thursdays at the Lakeview Lanes. For 19 years lane 7 o'clock. The 4 of us arrived with our own shoes and bags, and the general assumption about the stock. Kowalski had the highest average for 11 years. I mentioned it approximately twice per game. DeLuca threw the ball from somewhere very personal, and it always curved, but always curved the same. My game was what it was across the decades. Some Thursdays I was excellent, some not. The consistency that I brought to the Lakeview was the consistency of giving it a shot. We didn't talk about the important things directly, the way that certain friendships choose to run. We talked about the lane conditions and the brackets, and the important things got said between the fun. There was a year that DeLuca didn't come for 3 months. We bowled with someone borrowed from lane 8. He came back in October, different and the same. And we didn't ask, and that was the Thursday trait. The Lakeview closed in 91 for reasons, but 4 of us still meet on first Thursdays for food. 19 years of lane 7 makes a language that restaurants translate with sufficient mood.
Violin case was under her bed beside the boxes. The ones we always knew were not to touch. I pulled it out on the afternoon of sorting and sat there on the floor for very much. The case had latches that still worked with something, a smell of rosin and of somewhere else. The violin inside was wrapped in purple velvet and resting with the patience of a shelf. The bridge was loose and 2 of the strings were missing, but someone had maintained the bow with care. The hair was good, the wood was clean and wanted, and there was music living in the air. She said 1953. Your mother played in competitions twice. She won the second one in a green dress, and then she married There's music in the kitchen, the humming version, tuneless and contented. But now I hear the other underneath it, the concert version, carefully prevented. I play the violin on certain evenings, not well, but with a kind of dew. The latches still work, and the velvet is still purple, and I am playing something meant for two. Grandmother took salt and pepper shakers from every diner that she ever graced. She put them in her purse with great conviction and left the table with a certain pace. By 1972 she had 200 arranged by state along the kitchen shelf. The miniature saguaro from the Arizona one, the little chrome ones that did not suit themselves. She had a catalog in a spiral notebook with the name of each establishment and year. The Rosie's Diner 1958, cut glass ones, the truck stop pair from somewhere I hold dear. I asked her once if she considered this as stealing. She looked at me the way the great ones do. She said I leave a tip of 20% always, and 20% buys me a memento or two. She traveled 47 states by 81. The shelf required an extension by the sink. The catalog had reached its second volume, and she was working toward the final brink. She's gone now, and the shakers are divided among the grandchildren by complicated will. I have the Arizona saguaro ones, and every morning they are hers still.
The record store on Maple had a system that only regulars could navigate right. The owner sorted things by feeling mostly, and alphabetical only in bright light. He kept the good stuff in the back left corner, behind the jazz and just before the folk. If you knew to look, you'd find the real ones, and if you didn't know, you never woke. The first time I heard Mitchell in that corner, I stood there for a side and a half. The owner brought me coffee without asking, and didn't interrupt the paragraph. He had a cat called Inventory who sat on the register and judged your selections. She liked the serious buyers and the browsers and was completely indifferent to collections. The fire was on a Thursday in November, electrical according to the write-up. The building went an inventory with it, and 40 years of somebody's setup. I have the records that I bought there still, the corners and the sleeves a bit worn down. Some shops are more than shops, and when they're gone, they take a piece of the particular town. The last bus out of Millfield left at 4:15. I had the window seat in everything I own. The main street had its usual Thursday business, and I was the particular thing going home. My mother stood beside the hardware store, the yellow coat she'd worn since '73. She waved the way that mothers learn to wave at things that are not coming back to be. The bus went north on Maple, past the water tower, past the diner and the school and the mill. I held the seat in front and did not turn around until the water tower wasn't visible still. Beside me slept before the county line, the way the travelers who've done it before sleep. I watched the window become somewhere I didn't know, and felt the something that I'd chosen to keep. Millfield had a quality I've not located elsewhere, the particular way the evening and sat on those streets. I've lived in better located and more useful places, but none of them had Millfield's specific beats. My mother wore the yellow coat until it gave out sometime in the middle of the 80s. I have a photograph of her beside the hardware store, still waving at the particular thing that leaves. My father had a tackle box he kept beside the stairs. He cleaned it every Sunday after church. The hooks were sorted carefully by function, the lures arranged with a particular search. We never went out fishing, not exactly. The boat he talked about stayed in the talking. He'd open up the box and close it after, and that was Sunday, and that was his walking. I asked him once what lake he had in mind. He named one north of town with some precision. He said perhaps in spring, and spring would come and spring would pass with the same soft revision. Understand it now at 50-something. The tackle box was not about the fish. It was the hour of the Sunday cleaning, when no one needed anything from his. The lures were bright and purposeless and organized, a world of small and manageable things, where nothing was demanded or unanswered, and the only pending item had no strings. He left the tackle box to me on purpose. The note said simply use it as you see. I cleaned it on a Sunday after burying him, and sat a while with what it meant to be.
The lake was cold until approximately noon, then just cold enough to be what you call choice. We went in every afternoon regardless, because the cold was entirely worth the noise. We had no schedule past the general direction of coffee in the dock in afternoon, and sometimes someone drove to get provisions, which mostly just meant pie and something hewn. That was the summer that everything was simple, before the jobs and cities got their claim. We've each had summer suits with better logistics, but none of them have had that particular name. The cottage is still there. I looked it up on Thursday. They've painted it a different shade of green, and the floorboards probably still say what they mean. I lived 3 blocks from the ocean for 11 years, and went approximately never, give or take. There was always something happening on Tuesdays, and the other days had something else at stake. The neighbors went on Saturdays with thermoses. I'd watch them from the window heading south. I think that I would go perhaps next Saturday, and Saturday would go the same route. I knew the ocean was there without the visiting, the way you know a thing without the proof. The salt would come in on the summer evenings and season everything beneath my roof. My daughter asked me once why I had never gone. I gave a thorough and unsatisfying reply. She was 9 and had a better understanding of the ratio of intention to goodbye. I moved away the autumn of '79 to somewhere several hundred miles from shore. The ocean sent me nothing for my trouble, the same amount it always sent before. I think about the water sometimes on Saturdays, the 3 blocks that I never got around. Some distances are small enough to keep forever, as a reason and a comfort and a sound. She knitted me a scarf on the wrong-size needles. She'd bought them at the drugstore on a guess. The gauge was what you'd call a personal decision, and the width was more of an approximate yes. It's 7 inches wide at one end, 9 at the other, with a section in the middle that goes thin. She said the pattern called for something different, but the pattern wasn't entirely akin. She wrapped it in the Sunday paper, folded, and handed it with the confidence of skill. I put it on immediately and wore it through a February that required the will. I've had more even scarves in better colors from people who knew what they were about, but none of them have had the specific character of something held together by love and doubt. She knits correctly now, I see them on the internet. The stitches even purposeful, exact. But every December I go back to 7 and 9 and wear the scarf for what it has in fact. The scarf is 27 years old this winter, the thin part in the middle holding on. I've repaired it with the wrong wool on purpose, to keep it as imperfect as begun. Rink closed on Valentine's Day that year. A notice on the door in someone's hand. I'd pressed my mittens flat against the glass and tried to understand the understand. I'd practiced what I meant to say for 11 days, in order and with backup in case. But the rink was dark and you were somewhere else that evening, and the words had no particular place. I stood there for a while before I left. The cold was doing something to my ears. A couple passed behind me laughing something, and I studied the announcement for years. Your house at a particular pace. The lights were on upstairs, which told me nothing except that you were somewhere in that space. I never said the thing I went to say that day. The rink reopened, but the moment didn't. Some words require a very specific setting, And February gave me what it wouldn't. You moved away that spring to somewhere northern, and I became someone who almost said the ice rink closed on Valentine's Day. Remember, but only inside my own head. We started at Margarets House at 18, with paper hats and something someone brought. We watched the new year come in from the window and told it what we wanted, and we thought the same faces and the same general plan. Who fell asleep before the thing began. The decades have a way of adding texture to a room that started fairly bare. But Margaret's house was always there to share. The year that Margaret's husband wasn't with us, we sat up slightly later than before. We didn't speak about the missing directly. We just stayed until there wasn't any more. We've watched each other's hair change color slowly, and watched each other's children leave the room. We've handed each other the kind of years that only someone there from the beginning can consume. Every New Year's Eve at Margaret still happens. Fewer paper hats, but warmer in the way. The warmth of everything that chose to stay.
The mechanic underneath my car on Tuesday was singing something that I didn't place. I asked him what the song was when he surfaced, and he came out with Neruda on his face. He wiped his hands on the cloth he kept in the back pocket, and quoted me a line about the night. Something about the stars and someone leaving that had no business being that right. He learned it from his father in the Andes, who learned it from a teacher in the South. said that poetry belonged in garages as much as it belonged in any mouth. I've been to readings in appropriate locations with wine and lightning and the correct regard, but nothing had the weight of that Tuesday quotation from under a Buick in a gravel yard. He fixed the alternator and the fan belt and sent me out with a receipt and Neruda. The total on the slip was very reasonable, and what he gave me had no denominator. I bought a book of Neruda on the Thursday and read it at the table after 9, and thought about the man beneath the Buick who had it all completely memorized and fine.
November kept the windows painted shut that year. The super said he'd fix them in the spring. I stopped believing in the spring by Tuesday and started working with the everything. The radiator had a sound, it made it 3. A conversation with itself resolved. I learned its vocabulary over evenings and considered myself partially involved. The street below went on without my window. The coats grew darker as October left. I watched from the particular angle of the painted shut and called it my preferred position of the bereft. Could have found a butter knife and opened it. The paint was not a structural concern, but the room had reached an agreement with the November that I was not prepared to counter or adjourn. By December, something shifted in the quality. The radiator found a different note. I put a lamp beside the painted window and called it adequate and wrote, the super fixed the window in the March. It opened with the sound of paint releasing. The air came in and was entirely cold, And that was also its own kind of easing.
The footbridge over Miller's Creek is still there. The county built the road around it in '79. The bridge became irrelevant on Tuesday, and irrelevant is where I spend my time. The wood is soft in places now from weather. The railing has a lean I wouldn't trust, but someone keeps the moss from the center boards with a maintenance that I admire for its trust. I cross it on Sundays when I'm able. No particular reason on the other side, just the bridge and the creek and the particular quality of crossing something nobody else has tried. There is a kind of beauty in the purposeless, the thing that keeps on being past its need. The footbridge is entirely decorative now, and decoration takes a different creed. I've told a few people about the footbridge. They nod the way that people nod at bridges. They haven't gone to see it, and they probably won't, and that protects it from the certain ridges. The bridge will go eventually to the weather. All boards go somewhere, nothing holds its grain. But Sunday mornings I'm the crossing traffic, and the crossing makes it a bridge again.
There was a dog before I could remember, a golden one who answered to the name of Rue. In every photograph before my 3rd birthday, he's somewhere in the frame, and so am I too. My mother says he followed me through every room and slept outside my door the first 3 winters. She says he had a way of knowing breakfast before the kettle and before the splinters. I've I've seen his face in 17 photographs, the gray around his muzzle by the third. He looks at me the way that someone looks at something they have chosen, every word. He died the April of my 4th year Tuesday, and I apparently cried for several days. My mother says I asked about him weekly through the entire summer of that phase. I have no memory of Rue or Tuesday, no image of the fur or of the door. Just 17 photographs and someone's story about a love that happened before my before. I think that is its own particular mystery, the love that lives entirely before the mind, that somewhere in my first 3 wordless winters, a golden dog was being very kind.
Thursdays at the Lakeview Lanes. For 19 years lane 7 o'clock. The 4 of us arrived with our own shoes and bags, and the general assumption about the stock. Kowalski had the highest average for 11 years, and mentioned it approximately twice per game. DeLuca threw the ball from somewhere very personal, and it always curved, but always curved the same. My game was what it was across the decades. Some Thursdays I was excellent, some not. The consistency that I brought to the Lakeview was the consistency of giving it a shot. Didn't talk about the important things directly, the way that certain friendships choose to run. We talked about the lane conditions and the brackets, and the important things got said between the fun. There was a year that DeLuca didn't come for 3 months. We bowled with someone borrowed from lane 8. He came back in October, different and the same, and we didn't ask, and that was the Thursday trait. The Lakeview closed in 91 for reasons, but 4 of us still meet on first Thursdays for food. 19 years of lane 7 makes a language that restaurants translate with sufficient mood.